In this video, I want to talk about how I, as a woman at 48 years old, prepared for a bodybuilding competition 4.5 months ago, and then just most recently hiked a Grand Canyon hike down to the river, back out in one day. So, how do I train for bodybuilding for fat loss, but also training for endurance and strength to be able to do a long, hard hike like that? I want to start by saying that I'm 48 years old. And if you are a woman who might be whatever age, name your age, insert it, I don't care. But you've been hearing that it's just this time of life. This is just the way things are. It's time to slow down. It's the decline. This is just how it is now. If you are somebody who refuses to accept that, I'm here for you. I am here for you. All right. We're gonna do this together. All right. I do not believe that one bit. I think it is something that changes. We train differently, we eat differently, we, sleep differently. We make sure that we're trying to at least get some sleep. Like things are different, but that is I do not accept that it is time to slow down. And when I was 42 or 43 years old, I broke my foot. I have osteoarthritis in my foot, an old injury. Didn't know that I had osteoarthritis in my foot, and I kept breaking my foot. I kept breaking a couple of the metatarsals, the small bones in my foot, over and over and over again. And it was getting to the point I'm like, oh, broke my foot again. And so I went to the doctor, one of the doctors that I went to. He just said to me, he's like, you are at an age that it's time to slow down. And this is just the way it's going to be now. And you just need to know to accept it. And I was like, I'm 42. Like, what? No, absolutely freaking not. And so, thankfully, with the help of a friend who works in the medical field, I was able to find a wonderful podiatrist who is my age. She is also very super fit, super active. And she's just like, there is absolutely zero reason that you need to slow down. Okay. So, we figured out through testing, MRIs, all that kind of stuff, figured out that I had this osteoarthritis in my foot. And what I needed to change was I needed to, first of all, needed to make sure that my blood panels were okay, that everything, I have all the nutrients and all that stuff to support bone density. And then I had to change my shoes. It was literally a change in the shoes that I was wearing. Okay. So a matter of changing shoes or just accepting that this is the slow decline of life. No, absolutely not. So I'm kind of in this mindset right now of like, let's level the F up. Okay. Level the F up. And I'm here to do it. I'm going to do it. I am doing it. I want to take you along with me. I really do. I did a bodybuilding competition the end of November, and then I switched my training a little bit to start training for this hike for the Grand Canyon. This is my 5th Grand Canyon hike. I've done 2 rim to rims, which is you hike from the north to the south or the south to the north, which is about 24 miles in one day. I've done, I have hiked down to the Havasupai tribe, which is a Native American tribe that still lives in the Grand Canyon. They allow a certain number of people to go down there per day. It's by permit only. And then last year I did a hike. It wasn't all the way down to the river. It was pretty close. Came back out. And then this past weekend, we left from the South Rim, went all the way down to the river, came back out. Okay. And I came out strong. Like I felt good. Like I was tired. My feet had blisters on them, but I felt good. I felt strong. So I want to talk about a little bit how my training has changed since doing my bodybuilding competition and sort of this fat loss phase that I was in. So 2 years ago, April of 2024 is when I decided that I wanted to have a body transformation. I wanted to lose 50 pounds so that I could become a faster hiker. What ended up happening in that process is that I started losing body fat and realizing I still had muscle under there. Okay. I had done bodybuilding competitions before. And so it kind of put a bug in my ear about like, let's do this again. So that's why I'm doing bodybuilding competitions again. It's fun. I just like it. I like the process, okay? So, when I competed in November of 2025, I actually hit my goal weight for my weight loss like a week before. So April of 2024 to November of 2025, I lost 60 pounds. I set out to lose 50, I lost 60, okay? I wasn't stage lean. I wasn't like what you would call super lean, super jacked. I looked good though. I mean, I had, got some pictures. I've got them on my social media. I get a lot of comments. People liked it. Um, but the reality is I hit my goal weight, the weight that I wanted to maintain a week before, just a week before. It's been 4.5 months. I've maintained that weight loss. It's been I fluctuate 3 or 4 pounds here and there, but I mean, that's normal. That's just normal. That's just life. Haven't gone to the bathroom, ate a salty meal, that kind of thing. I shifted my training the beginning of December. So after my competition, the week after, we had to put my dog down. I could barely even like function. And I was just like bound and determined to not let that derail me. And I struggled. I still struggle. I still have days where I'm like, I think about him and I start tearing up. There was a point that I didn't even make any YouTube videos. I didn't make any social media. I couldn't get through the day without crying. It was just like, if you've lost a pet, like you get it. It's hard, right? And a lot of you have found me from my very last video with him where I'm talking about my body transformation and my bodybuilding competition. And literally like 3 days later is when we had to put him down. So I did my competition. We had to put Cole down. And then I started like immediately training for this Grand Canyon hike. Like December 6th, I think was our first major hike to train for this. So my training shifted from this focus of fat loss to how strong can I get? So I was talking about getting fit AF, and taking a year and just like focusing in on it. But the mindset sort of shifted to getting strong AF. Okay. So I'd go to the gym, and a lot of what I would do at the gym are things that I just didn't have heavy enough weights to do at home. That's a lot of why I don't make a lot of weightlifting content on YouTube and the socials, is because I go to the gym and I don't film at the gym. My gym actually doesn't even allow it. The gym I go to in Wisconsin, they do. Maybe I'll make a video when I'm there sometime. But anyhow, it's a lot of like, I would go to and just get on the leg press and just press, 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 press as much as I could till my legs were just like, they were just like done. Okay. But you got to warm up. You got to, your ligaments, your tendons, all those kinds of things need to build strength too. So it's not like you can just go and press the heck out of the leg press, right? Like you got to work up to these things. So my training really shifted from this mindset of I need to lose body fat to how strong can I get, but also not trying to put on a whole bunch of body fat in the process. One thing that I did do is I hiked Mount Humphreys in Arizona, which is it's almost, it's almost 13,000 feet, or 3 weeks before my competition. So I was pretty low on carbs at that point, and I hiked it. I ate beef sticks and hard boiled egg whites while I was hiking. So I was really trying to eat the protein, and I was good. Like I had energy. I had a lot of energy. So I knew that I could train in a way that would support bodybuilding, but also give me the energy to support some of the endurance training. Okay. So I started my Grand Canyon training in December, still getting to the gym minimum 3 days a week, lifting weights. Okay. And I say going to the gym because I need the heavier weights. I do have weights at home. And so sometimes I'll do some things I don't necessarily need the heavier weights, or I'll do plyometrics, jumping, power, that kind of thing. Okay. And then just about every other weekend, I would do a long hike. So, but what I mean by long hike was over 10 miles. Takes time. You got to set time aside. So that's the part of training for anything, is like you have to look at it and go, do I have time to actually train for this? Do I have time to actually put in the work to do this? It's not yeah, this would be fun to do. I'm just going to put it on the calendar, set it aside, and go do it. You got to make sure that you've got the time to actually train for the thing. Same goes with bodybuilding competitions. Like you can say, I want to get on stage in a sparkly bikini, which you certainly got to train for that. You certainly have to dive for that as well. You don't, who wants to, I don't want to get on stage and, just not feel like I gave it my freaking all. And I applied that same mindset here to, I'm going to get strong AF to hike the Grand Canyon, and I'm going to give it my all. Like that's going to be my focus. Okay. So 3 days a week, weight training. I did a lot of rowing, use the Peloton app to do some of the rowing classes. That's just like full body stuff. And it's a lot of the pulling. I like the pulling. Really helped to strengthen my back. I've shared some pictures on social media of my back. I do like to train my back and my shoulders, but I really attribute that to rowing. And then I do have a dedicated back day. Like I'm having so much fun with this, and I'm so happy to share it with you, because I'm here to tell you, if you have been told it's too late, you're too old, I'm here to say F that. Okay. So anyhow, changed my training a little bit to do 3 days a week of weightlifting. At least every other week, I was doing a 10-mile hike. And on the weeks that I wasn't doing the 10-mile hike, I would still like go for a walk or a run. I started adding in some trail running. I did my first 10K trail run in January. I've done some more trail running since then, just kind of on my own, not like events or anything. So that started to build up some more of the endurance. Just walking, just time on your feet is really important when you're training for something as long as that. It took me 10 hours. We did have a couple of breaks. And then as you're coming out, we had a group of 6 of us. And as you're coming out, everybody just kind of splits off onto their own pace. We just take breaks when you need to. Mostly because if you stop every time a person needs a break, like it just slows the whole group down. So it's like just take a break, the group keeps going, and then you catch up, everybody catches up, you start leapfrogging, that kind of thing. I felt really strong. I felt really good in that the weight training that I was doing, the leg presses, the hip work. I've got a happy hips program that I'm developing for my app. I've been doing that mobility work, that flexibility work. That has helped it with my hips a ton. I've always been doing yoga, been teaching yoga, but really adding in some focused yoga specific to my legs, my hips, that mobility for my knee. Okay, both knees. I have 2 bad knees. And I also think that yoga also gives you that mind body awareness, that mind body connection. It's those times where you're doing something really freaking hard. So a canyon hike is different from hiking a mountain in that you hike down first and then out. So you hike out on tired legs. You're in the last 3 miles, last 2 miles, and you're questioning your life. And you have no choice but to get yourself out of there. And I think that yoga really helped me to have that just like focus, that presence, that mindfulness of like, this is what I'm doing right now. And I'm so honored. I'm honored to have a body that allows me to do this. Like, how freaking cool is that? Okay. So I think that that was huge for me with my training was yoga was very specific to my hip mobility, my hip strength, my knee stability, my knee strength. The other thing I noticed, and I didn't notice it until one of my friends mentioned that her calves were getting tight. We were coming out. There was just the 2 of us about 2 miles out from the top, and she had said that her calves were getting tight. And that's when I realized, like, I hadn't had a calf spasm. And where I broke my leg, so I broke my tibia and fibula, and the bones just, like, like, they tented. So if I pulled my knee into my chest as a reflex. If I wouldn't have done that, the bone would have gone right through the skin. So where it, like, pushed through the soft tissue, that's where I was getting a lot of muscle spasms. When I first started walking and I would just get them walking, but then it started becoming I'll get muscle spasms after about 5 miles, and then it became I'll get muscle spasms at about 7 miles, and then it was up to about 8 miles before I would get muscle spasms. I'd wear compression sleeves that would help with it, but anyhow, I didn't even realize until she mentioned her calves that I was not having any issues with my calf. I had no spasms, none. So that's another sign of healing. We're at 3 years and what, 2 months, 3 months since I broke my leg. And I'm just now like still seeing signs of healing. Like this is no freaking joke. So I also, like I said, I focused on building a lot of strength, a lot of low body power. Hiking does involve your whole body though. You wear a pack. Your pack is heavy. You've got food, you've got water. I've got extra supplies. We pack way much. We even ran into a woman who thought we were camping because we had so much stuff. But when you've been through what me and my friends have been through with my leg break, we prepare. We bring things for you never know how long you're going to be sitting there waiting. Okay. So we have a lot of extra stuff. So we prep, we train with the extra weight. So you got a lot of weight on your shoulders, but if you get the right pack, you can put the hip weight on your hips, but some of the weight still comes on your shoulders. So you've got to have some upper body strength for that stability and control. You got to have some core stability and control as well. So really focused in on building that lower body power, but also building core strength to hold the pack on my body. The next thing I want to talk about is recovery and how recovery became non-negotiable. And I've been working out, my adult life, since I was 18, 30 years. I've been working out. I never stopped working out. I gained weight, but I never stopped working out. And I've always known the importance of recovery, but it took me like getting into doing fitness competitions 10 years ago where you're working out intense. Like you're legit an athlete, right? You're working out pretty intense. And then you've got the stress from your workouts, but then you've got stress from life. You got stress from your job, maybe family stress, maybe, name your name your freaking thing, right? Like we've all got stress, okay? And as a result, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, yeah, I had a really stressful job. Had a job I probably didn't like so much. And, just the stress from the workouts and that, it really kind of hit me how important nutrition and hydration are to recovery. Okay. And anytime I hear people talking about how sore they are after a workout, they're sore for a week after a workout, I question what is the level of intensity that you're working out at? But then also, like, are you drinking enough water? Are you eating enough food? Are you fueling your body good food? Okay. And so when I talk about recovery becoming non negotiable, it's sleep, it's going to bed at a scheduled time every night. I don't always fall asleep right away, but it's the routine. I'm in bed. I'm 48. The the 1 a.m., 2 a.m. wake up calls, they happen and then you can't fall back asleep. That 100% happens, but I spend time in bed. I sleep, I at least rest, do that. Making sure that I take rest days and don't feel guilty about it. Recovery is part of the training. So you've got to take rest days. It's just built into the schedule. And rest days aren't like sit around and do nothing on the couch all day. Okay. It could be like going for a walk. It could be doing a light yoga class. It might be doing a light class on the Peloton, just something to get a little movement, get the blood flowing. Nothing intense though. Okay. Probably not even breaking a sweat. That active recovery is important. Nutrition, hydration, getting sleep, and taking rest days. Like you cannot go balls to the wall 7 days a week. You cannot do that. All right. You might be able to do it short term, but it's going to burn you out. Your body, you're just gonna, and that's no fun. And then the final thing I want to talk about is consistency is much more important than intensity. I certainly needed to do some intense workouts to prep for my bodybuilding competition. The level of consistency needed was much more important. Same with training for the Grand Canyon. The level of consistency is much more important. What I don't want to do is do one long hike for a training hike and then it takes me 3 weeks to recover and it's a month before I'm able to do another long hike. You don't want to go so intense that you can't recover from it, okay? I will say today is Wednesday. I hiked the canyon on Saturday. Sunday I was sore. I expected Monday to be the worst. I'm always one of those like 2 days later I'm sore kind of people. Monday my calves were pretty tight. Yesterday a little tight. Today I feel good. Like it's Wednesday, I feel good. Okay. So if you're looking at something like how long does it take for you to recover after doing some like a super intense workout? That's why consistency is better than intensity because if you go so intense, like Saturday was really super intense. We did a 18-mile hike with a lot of elevation gain, right? That was a really intense workout. Well, now it's been 3 or 4 days before I've been able to work out because I'm sore. Like that's normal. I expected it, right? But if you're doing that all the time, you work out so hard, you go to the gym and you work out so hard that you're so sore and you don't want to go back. Like, what's the point, So that's why consistency is better than intensity here. So we're not like, just going super hard, going super balls to the wall to the point that you can't even like think about the gym for a week or two. And it makes it much more sustainable and like these small improvements over time, they exponentially grow. Okay. You exponentially get a little bit better, you get a little bit stronger, you get a little bit tougher, you get a little bit more muscle, you get a little bit more this, a little bit more that. And over 2 years, that adds up. In a nutshell, if you are a woman, I don't care if you're over 40, if you're over 50, if you're over 30, if you're over 60, and you're hearing, it's time to slow down. We got to be gentle. If you're hearing that from anybody in your life, like, I'm not here for it. Okay. What I'm here for is like, let's level the F up. All right. Let's level the F up. Why not? I have a video where I talk about use your weekends to level the F up. Don't allow them to derail you from your goals. You got more time. You've got more time on weekends. Most of us do. You have more time on weekends. Like use it. Use it wisely to level the F up. All right. So if you're in this like mode of like, yeah. I'm good. I wanna do this. I wanna level the F up. Come join me. Subscribe to my channel. Like this is what we're doing here. I'm just kind of documenting, rambling, sharing what I'm doing. I'll do some tutorials on yoga poses and things like that for sure. This did not happen by accident. This did not happen by accident. And if you think I'm lucky, that's fine. Luck didn't get me to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning. Luck didn't get me following a program, following a system, being consistent, keeping my eye on the prize, doing the work. It happened. It happened because I was focused. It happened because I knew where I was going. The route there was a little wobbly, but I knew exactly where I was going and I wanted to get there. And I was going to do what I needed to do to get there. Okay. But all while maintaining relationships and friendships and personal life and paying the bills and my job and all that stuff. All this stuff. It can get overwhelming, but you know what? It didn't happen on accident. Anyhow, come join me, subscribe to my channel. I'll talk to you soon.